engineer, thought leader, STEM and energy expert, top 100 female executive in the oil and gas industry in Africa, G100 Global Chair Engineering. Her name is Mirelle Tolkima, referred to as the Greatness Engineer, an award-winning global entrepreneur, thought leader, and influencer carrying out empowerment work across 4 continents. Take a note, friends, 4 continents, focusing on energy, STEM, women empowerment, and entrepreneurship. She helps people to take control of their life, step into their power, and unleash their greatness. Yes, friends, let's welcome Mirelle at Women Lines. Hi, Mirelle. Welcome to the show.
Hello, Cheryl. Welcome everybody who's watching, and thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to get to interact with yourself and your audience, and get to share my story and share what I do and how I help people to step into their greatness. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for your time. I'm so eager to know. Please share about yourself. What makes you uniquely you?
Oh, what makes me unique? It's a very interesting question because that's something that I've always asked myself. And I actually have a particular story. And when people ask me where I'm from, I tell them I'm a citizen of the world because I've lived and worked in so many countries. And everywhere that I've stepped, my foot, I gained something, and I brought something back with me from the culture, from the people that I meet. So what's really make me unique is all this diversity that I've discovered and integrated into my own life, and now basically spreading everywhere and in everything that I do, because in a way it helped me actually to become the person that I am, and it's helping me helping people. Like I said, my mission is really to help people to understand that they are unlimited and help them to step into their power and step into their greatness. And this experience, this diversity that I got into from a very young age as a teenager, is actually the tool and the basis that I use to do that. So that's really what's make me unique.
So interesting. Tell us more about the background you're having. How it started? What was the first career or something interesting which made you think that we need this program for greatness where people can step into their greatness? Is there some story behind it?
There is a story behind it because I come from Africa, in West Africa, from the French-speaking part of Africa, and from a small country in terms of, number of people, because Gabon has a very small population. Just 1.5 million people living there. And then back then when I was young, it was even less than 1 million. So coming from there and coming from a very humble beginning, I never imagined in my life that I would end up here in Australia. But things started to really shape up because at the age of 14, I left Gabon. My parents decided to send me to a boarding, family in France, in Europe, and that's where everything started. So I did my, my schooling, had, the equivalent of the A-level, did my university time, and then decided to go back to Gabon, where I went back also at a very tragic time of my life, because my dad was the breadwinner, paying for everything for me, passed away unexpectedly. So I basically had to react and go back and be with my family, especially my mom, who couldn't afford to continue to pay for my studies. So I had to adjust, and that's how I end up into the oil and gas industry. And it was not I always tell people my contact and me getting involved in the energy and oil and gas industry was actually love at second sight, because that was not something that I've actually planned. I just seized any opportunity that I had back then, because it was kind of a survival,
I can
step.
tell.
And all of that, going into this industry back then, it was very male, white
Oriented.
male, Caucasian dominated. So I was a minority as a woman of color. So all of this, I've built my personality on being always a minority and really fighting through. And that's where I realized that even when you are a minority, even when you feel powerless, you always have a power inside of you that's gonna drive you all the way. And when I understood that and really, use that and build on that, I saw things really expand from, the very humble beginning that I had to an extraordinary international career that led me to different countries. I worked in Europe, I worked in America, I worked
Amazing.
in Asia, I'm now in Australia. So all of this because of this mindset of knowing that I was unlimited, and I had to focus on that and not focus on the limitation that people wanted to put on me. And that's where this greatness, my focus on greatness is, because I know that if I was able to do that,
Yeah.
I can teach people and use my story and use the tools that I've used and share, with people how they can also, go beyond what people expect from them.
Wow, it's so inspirational. And you have taken step by step, and it has been a journey. I'm sure it must be inspiring so many people around you. So, Mirelle, my next question is, as an entrepreneur, it must be a journey for you till now. Can you share some insights, some learnings, ups and downs, or some lessons which helped you to grow your venture, grow your business? I'm sure this can help other women entrepreneurs around.
And just like how, I end up into the oil and gas industry, I also end up in entrepreneurship, not knowing much.
So not love on first sight.
No, not love at the first sight. It was more a response on being into the industry and not really being able to, at some point, to move up and to do what I wanted. So I just decided, I'm just not gonna get stuck, in this funnel. I'm gonna create something for that. I'll be, managing myself and be the leader that I really want to be. And that's how I started entrepreneurship. Started with the MT Energy Resources, still in the industry, but really focusing on more consulting and have the ability to choose what I really want to work with, who I really want to interact with, and at any level that I wanted. I didn't have to be stopped to be on any table, especially those powerful table where everything is happening. So what I've learned is that, when I went into it, and because it was still in my industry, I thought that, after 20 years, I knew everything. So I was specialized. So it's just going to be very easy. But what I realized is that being, an expert or specialized in an industry doesn't qualify you to be the best entrepreneur in this industry, because managing a company and managing people, it's a different ball game. So that was the first thing that I've learned, is that, you have to go in the drawing board and learn the process, because there's a process, to become an entrepreneur. There are, strategies, tools that we really need to know. And one area where we need to be really have the right, knowledge, it's finance, because at the end of the day, we need to understand the finance, we need to understand the market, and we need to understand what are the the forces at play. So it's very important, if you are an entrepreneur, to understand your market, to understand who you're talking to, have clarity on what is your niche, and really, learn from learn from other entrepreneurs, because in this journey, you know, we can't take it alone. So there's the one of the learning that I, you know, because sometimes we think that we can be solo entrepreneur, but even as a solo entrepreneur, we need the right support. So to be successful, another key thing is to have the right support system, and be able to rely on other people, so that you can focus on what you do best, and what you can, where you can create, you know, the impact that is necessary. And then when it comes, everything comes together, then you can, you know, scale up and upscale, you know, what you have. The other thing is, you know, what I've learned as well is that people do business with people that they know. So it is important as an entrepreneur, if you want projects, if you want, you know, to get markets, if you want to have, you know, to be involved in certain projects, to network. So you need to, you know, have a strategy to network, to meet the right people that are going to be potential clients or potential partners or potential people that you're going to collaborate with, or potential people who are just going to help you to go and deliver what you really want to deliver. So that's also a key part, which is, you know, the networking part, and making sure that you put a lot of effort doing that. And what I really want to say is that you also have to be patient, because, you know, the beginning can be chaotic. I myself felt so many times, but you always have to, you know, to come back, you know, take the lesson and learn from any failure that you have, and come back, you know, better, and really always be optimistic about it. And one of the thing in the process, and I describe it in everything that I do, is I actually realized that we go through a particular process that I call the DARE process. DARE standing for decide, act, review, and expand. So as entrepreneur, it's important that we have, you know, the decision process is very important, what we really decide to focus on and how we're going to go about it. So it's a big decision that we need to do, to take up front, to be able to give ourselves, you know, a direction. So the decision-making process, it's important. But then, you know, you can decide that you're going to be, you know, the best entrepreneur, that you're going to make $1 million. What's important is that you take action, and it starts with having a plan. A plan that is clear. So your business plan has to be in place, your marketing plan has to be in place, your strategic plan has to be in place, and you have to implement something. And, you know, through the implementation, obviously there are results that come out of it. And those results can be good for you, or it can, you know, it can be a failure, but it doesn't mean that it stopped there. Whatever the case, if it's a failure, you learn from, you know, this failure, you react. Exactly. You review everything, and you look at what, you know, what are the gaps, and you try to fill the gaps. And even if you know, you succeed and you are where you want to be, there's always the next challenge to take. So don't stop, continue, and you know, set new goals and new challenges. And I think that's how you become, you know, one of the best entrepreneur, as far as, you know, my experience is concerned. So those are, I would say, in a nutshell, some of the key, you know, learning experience that and key learning that I would share today.
Awesome points you have shared, Mirelle. I myself believe, and I always say, being an entrepreneur is like you're walking in a park, but that park is a Jurassic Park. You never know from where the dinosaur is coming, and you have to face and keep moving. So the mindset has to be a tough mindset, which is not feeling bad about the failures, and just keep on going and keep on planning ahead. So yes, awesome points you have shared. I would love to know more about your leadership secrets.
Mhm.
It has been a journey for you, right? The way you
It has
started,
been.
the first job, the way you thought about your entrepreneurship, it requires certain leadership skills. Can you share how you developed and what are those skills which helped you, which can help other women to become leaders in life?
Mhm. So I think the first thing that as leader, that is, and I went through it, when I started, especially when I started in the oil and gas industry, it's to believe in ourselves, as leader, and especially women, whatever, environment or whatever, community we are in, we have to first, know to believe in ourselves and manage and lead ourselves first. So when
Yeah.
we can manage and lead ourselves, have the right mindset and do the right things, I think we're setting the tone for something that is, gonna be fantastic for the people that we're gonna lead. So I think first thing is to start to be confident with, yourself and the leadership, the way you lead yourself. So then you start with that. And another part that, especially working with men, that was really key in my leadership is to have clarity and communicate really well and at any time. Because what I realized is, especially when I was in a position to lead men, there, you have to constantly talk to them, educate them in a way, because, a lot of the men are still, because of the domestication and because of the
Yeah,
cultural, the strong cultural background where they are raised, being, always the dominant, the dominant person.
in the
they
family,
they
yes.
the family, and they actually have a problem with, being led by women. So it's important to talk to them, to create the space and the, the platform to tell them exactly what your leadership is all about, and help them, to create a platform that can allow them to be vulnerable, where they can talk to you and talk about their frustration, being when they feel like, being led by a woman is very difficult. So that's also a key thing that I've done in my life, as a leader, and also understand that, people bring, in the office or in the workplace, the problem that they have at home. So it's important to also understand, find a way to understand what's happening at home, so that when they come in the, in the office, you understand why they feel that way, why they are in such, in such a mind, they have such a mindset, and it helps you to direct them and help them to do their job, to, and focus on what's important in the office. So I had, so a very communicative style, and also very, what I think they call it, transformational style as well. Make
Yes.
sure that people understand that, if they bring their best in the office, and if they bring their best in the team, everybody's win. So really,
Correct.
make sure that they understand this win-win, situation that is important for the team, and not just for the leader. And also, one of the things that I've seen that was really appreciated for me as a leader is to be transparent with my emotions, and be vulnerable and direct when I don't know anything. Because what people expect from a leader is that, being a leader, everything, when there's a situation, or when there's a project, or when there's a problem, you have to be the person who's going to solve it. No, you can also say, okay, I don't know, I count on you, the team. So really be bringing and putting this vulnerability there, for people to understand that you are part of the team, you are the leader, you are part of the team, but you also can be vulnerable and need help from them. And I think they feel really empowered. And I've seen people really feel empowered. Wow, we can help the leader, or wow, she's listening to us. And that has been something very, very positive, especially while, managing men. And one thing that is important as a leader is to really have a vision for the team, and be clear, and when you actually and live this vision and this mission, because you have to be the role model for that if you want people to follow you. So have clarity, communicate the vision and the mission, so that people understand what you're really trying to accomplish, and even have them be part of putting this mission and vision together with you, so that everybody is clear on where they are going and what they're trying to achieve. So really, I think it's a blend. My leadership has been a blend of, a lot of style. It's been, cooperative, it's been collaborative, it's been also transformational, inspirational as well. So it's really a blend of, something that is working for the team and for me as well.
Wow, you have summarized it in such a brilliant way, Miral. I so much agree with you, especially the vulnerability part, because that is something previous times people were not ready to show their emotions in office. If a leader is leader in office, he or she is not expected to show the weak point of her personality or his personality, or whatever challenges they're facing in the office. But time has changed now, because that is helping them to have the open conversation, and they are coming up with more solutions when they're working together as a team. So this has to be understood by women, especially because they think showing vulnerability can show their weakness. They're shy about it. I think we should not be shy. We should be open about, and we should be open to take help. It will help us to grow as a leader. And I appreciate you for sharing it such a beautiful way, because all the points are so important to become a leader in life.
And especially now, where we've in a way we've been very focused on the strong male leadership. Now with everything that is changing all the time, and the ambiguity, the uncertainty, the feminine leadership is quite important, which is the resilience, the collaboration, the emotional intelligence, and all of this, it's important to balance everything in the world right now.
Wonderful share. So Miral, I also want to know, what's your vision now? What are your dreams? What you want to achieve? What's the next step?
So my vision is really always about empowering, other women. And one project that I started 3 years ago called the STEM Queens. I started the project in Uganda, and now pushing to get it, going here in Australia for Indigenous Australian. Is about empowering women in STEM, and getting and it's an ambitious project, because we really want to empower about 1 million women and girls by 2025 in STEM. So because we see that the world is changing, we are in the middle of the fourth industrial revolution. And it's important that women are part of it, because most of the new jobs that are not existing right now are going to be really connected to STEM. So it's important that we get women to be part of it, especially in the developing world, where it's really difficult for them to get especially the economic, the financial independence. So really pushing for that, and making sure that they are comfortable, being and ambitious to actually get those jobs and get involved in those industries where male are still a majority. So that's the big, the big project for me. But the mission is always to make sure that people empower as many people and as many women as possible, so that they understand that they are the CEO of their own life, their own
Yes, I love
journey,
that.
and whatever challenges that they have, or obstacles that are in front of them, they decide which way to go. They decide if they want to focus on those obstacles of challenges, or if they want to look for opportunities to find a different way to go through all those obstacles. At the end of the day, it's their choice, and it's exactly the decision process that I was talking about in the DARE system, where it all starts with the decision, and the decision is yours. So you're
Beautiful.
always in control.
Wow, your project is sounding amazing, and I wish you all the best. Please feel free what support you want, how people can help you in your mission. If you want any support, please feel free to ask.
So, I mean, the way people can support me is to really start talking about the project. They can connect with me on the different social platform. I'm everywhere. So just, Googling my name, Mireille Telekima, it's a unique name. So it's going to be just one person, so they can, connect and have, get to ask me if you want more information, deeper information, and how they want to get involved. We're always looking for mentors, especially women who are involved in STEM. So looking for mentors, but also women leaders, because I think one key thing, even when we are in, when women work in technical arena, it's also the general, the leadership, how to lead themselves so that they can, communicate, they can position themselves, and they can, access the high, opportunities in those industries. So it's a lot of leadership work. So if we start early, we create this, self-awareness, and but also this what I call, those young girls can be very, assertive from a very young age, so that when they arrive, they're not impressed by anything, and they just focus on giving their best and becoming the best that they can be.
Wonderful. So take a note, friends. We will be sharing contact details for Mireille in the content section. Those people who can be mentors, who are related to STEM field, do connect with Mireille, and let's make her project a big project, a success project, so that it can help as many women across the globe. So my last question, Mireille, please share some message for Womenline's audience.
So I want to leave the audience with this message of hope. I know we are, going through a very challenging time. It's been, 2 years that we've been through this pandemic. But at the end of the day, when I talk to people, I say, in every challenge, there's always an opportunity. So don't focus on, and I've mentioned it before, don't focus on the obstacle, focus on the opportunity, finding the opportunity in this challenge and this opportunity. So I challenge you, any viewer, to find the opportunity in all this chaos that we have and go for it. Wow. Because one of my motto, actually, and I live by it, is don't leave anything on the table of life. So whatever it's happening to you, there's always an opportunity that is around. So find this opportunity, focus on it, and take action to be able to get, and implement and use this opportunity to go to the next level of your greatness. So that's my message for your audience today.
Very powerful message. I always say, don't think about the problem, think about the solution. So yes, that's it. Think about the opportunity we can create right now, whatever challenges are there. So let's promise ourselves that we will not think about the problem, we will think about the solution, create opportunity, and work together to make our planet a better place. Thank you so much, Mireille, for wonderful insights, about wonderful tips, and wonderful message for Womenline's audience. I wish you all the best for your future. Take care. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. All the best to you as well.
Thank you.